Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to August of 2023. August 2023, Simply the Marketing Virtual Summit. The final summit. I know. Some of you all been asking about this. What is this final thing? I told you guys I would reveal everything today and why we're doing what we're doing. All right. Why our two guest speakers are who they are based on why this whole thing has a purpose today. Is this. As many of you know, I did only live events up until May of 2020. May of 2020, we all know what happened. All right. Some people made these false claims about something or claims about something. I'm not going to say it in the wrong way because somebody might get offended. But anyway, a thing happened to where we were all not allowed to go out of our house, apparently. And it kind of shut down those of us who were in the live event space. And it really torqued our world. So May of 2020, I actually started doing a virtual summits. I did Blog and VideoCon, and we did it on using this platform, broadcast out to a group. All right, built a whole community, and I created a whole different idea for virtual events. I wanted to do a virtual events for members. I wanted to create a membership community and not a hey, buy a ticket every event. And I'm not putting that model down. I just didn't want to do that model. I wanted to make a different model. So I did. I said, you know what? Not only am I going to do, and we announced it after we did that first virtual event, we said we're going to do every month. We're going to do these virtual events every month. And they were great. We've had some great speakers. I think it's like upwards of 120 different talks we have in the archives. All right. Our speakers today have been on before many times. We have other speakers who've been on many times. They come on, some of them 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times. I was at an event in April. I think it was April, where a gentleman there at the event stood up and said, hey, I got my first speaking event by coming to this event and speaking. And it was great to hear that a lot of people got some of their first time speaking to come out to an event like this. It allowed me to actually get on a lot of other virtual stages because I hosted a virtual event. And if you don't know the speaking industry, I know our one main speaker today, Paul Fink, probably tell you about that. In the speaking world, you either got to know somebody to get on their stage, all right, or you got to swap stages, all right. And every one of us speakers had a different way about doing it. Paul's got a unique way. Maybe he'll share it today. John, our other guest today, you know what I mean, had a unique way. Maybe he'll share his. I don't know. Well, John's not, because John's thing is recorded today. But anyway, I created virtual stage so I would have virtual place to swap stages. And it worked out very well. Just like my podcast, I had a virtual place to swap stages. And it was a great, great concept. We loved it. In the beginning, we'd have tons of people, but as time pressed on, people did exactly what we told them to do. And that was create a business, become successful. Don't just be an attendee, be somebody who does something. And hearing so many stories from people who went out and did something, it was great. But we watched as they did something unless they had less time to come to attend our events. Now, it's a good problem to have, right? When you make people successful, because they aren't here. And that was the purpose why we did it, to make people successful. It was our whole goal in doing this, is to build successful people. That's what the whole speaking realm, and it's what Paul and John who are here today, as well as myself, that was our whole purpose. We wanted you to better yourselves. We just made a business model out of it. All right. And you should be making a business model out of what you do, because everything we do in this world, if it doesn't help people, it's harming them. And if you're making money off of harming people, I don't want to do business with you. It's just not my thing. So those were the great things that came along. Over the years, I started to do things. Through the pandemic, I really got more intense into, I really, shall we say, doubled down on my investments. All right. I found ways to put more money to work. So money was paying me instead of me working for money. Money was working for me. And little by little, we tripled, almost, I want to say almost quadrupled, but we tripled the amount of money that I had coming in without going to work. All right. In a matter of 2 years. And that made me go, wait a minute. If I could triple my money in 2 years coming in, which, I know there's guys who teach you can do it. I think Paul probably teaches like double your income or triple your income. But it's those concepts, when you learn them, that concept going to work for you makes you understand, am I really doing what I need to do, or do I need to transition to do something new? And that's why, some of my posts this morning said, for everything there is a season in life. And we've learned that the season for Simple Easy virtual events has come to a close. All right. It's time to move on to a new season. Not going to say we had 3 bad years. No, we had 3 great years. But just like your business, if you're not building your business, especially if you're in a self-help space, to transition into something new, you're not really helping people. And that was my true and firmest belief. Now, one of the things that has been something I've wanted to do, and I'm going to go over it in my talk today, was in 2018, 2019, I actually watched a TV show that inspired me to go out and be an entrepreneur. And that was the TV show that was out called Undercover Billionaire. And I'm going to share today how I took that concept and in March, April, May, and June, took that concept and built an entire new company from scratch, an entire new company. And we're going to share the company here today and why we do it, the stories about it, answer some of your questions as to how you could go out and do the same thing. Now, I'm not going into teaching this and everything. It helped me realize that I can go off and create companies and then use that platform to go out and help other people, as well as I now have another business making money for me and bringing in income and helping people with a service. And we'll discuss that as well today. That being said, we decided with that August 2023 would be our last virtual summit. This is the last time we're going to do it. I have not yet decided if I won't come back and do twice a year virtual summits, but I'm no longer going to be doing month to month. I don't have the time now that I've created another company. I don't have the time now that I have a bunch of other stuff going on. I don't have the time because in 2022, we moved on and we got a bigger property. And it's like we've got this mini farm running up here with chickens and animals and construction projects. And it's become a new homestead, if you will. All right. Gardening and everything to build our lives the way we want to. It changed our lives. So we decided that, over the last few months, it's been very, very hard. All right. To balance working my new company and trying to get over here to put speakers together to do a virtual summit. And it was just, it became a tough balance that I had to go, okay, something's got to go. And this was now one of the reasons why was this one here. We also said that I wrote down in my notes that when I started this, if I ever got to the point that I went a year with no new members joining, that it was time to close it. Now, a lot of you guys are going, wait a minute, I paid for lifetime membership. Yes, you did. Some of you paid 20, some of you paid 47, 97, whatever it was, still as the price went up. But it has been over a year since someone has bought the membership. That's tough to sit here and tell you on camera. That's one of the things, okay, that's a sign that the business model is time to close the doors onto it. Does it mean you don't get other stuff from me? No, you get tons of stuff from me if you bought that membership, because we're still going to add value to it. We're going to still do master classes and throw them in there. All right. We're still going to do meetings and stuff like that. We're just not going to do a monthly event and record it every month. That is the part that we are pulling out. So when it comes time to do things in your life, in your business, you have to know when to say when. You have to know, hey, this has been a successful run. It's time to transition it into the next phase. And I'd be interesting today. I'm sure I'll get one-on-one time talking with Paul, because Paul and I knew each other back. I think we know each other almost 10 years now. And I know Paul's business model changed a little bit during the pandemic as well. But that's the purpose of a business model, is you always looking, and you're always, as a business leader, you're always looking on how do I tweak this to make it better? What is the industry doing? What is the world doing? What is it that you're teaching? All right. I started out in 2010 teaching rock and roll keys to business success. And I was doing song titles and teaching motivation from it. Slowly, and within the first 3 years, I transitioned to being the rock around your blog guy. I was teaching blogging techniques using that same rock and roll ideas to get you to think differently and do your shows differently. In 2015, live streaming came out, which is part of why we have what we have here today. Was we could now turn our computers on, turn our cameras on, turn the lights on, and we could talk to the world from our own homes. We could talk back and forth with people. We could do all kinds of things with that concept. Well, once that started happening, everybody wanted to see me on video and less people read my blog. Well, I transitioned over to live video. Well, then live video got to be, well, it was great doing these one-on-one shows. And next thing you know, everybody's doing events that way because, let's face it, the old-fashioned webinar was you wouldn't see my face. You would just see us talking and with slides. And every now and then you might see our face, but it was all a whole webinar series. Well, live streaming changed that model. We transitioned, right? Live events transitioned. One of the reasons why, when after the pandemic, I decided not to go back to live events because the cost to do the events was not worth the reward on the other side. I didn't have a business model down to support the higher cost. Maybe I'll ask Paul about it when he comes on because he found a way to do it. And our business model was not able to take that cost on right away, and we would have failed real fast. Now, there are people who've got more connections in the industry that they were able to do it, but there are people like me who didn't have as many connections in the industry to be able to sustain that model and keep it going. So today is going to be the last one. Doesn't mean we don't have anything that's like, dreary. No, we have a very uplifting way out. Number one, we've got Paul Fink coming in here today. Paul's going to talk about what is it? Paul texted me this morning, asking me what he was talking about. Paul's going to talk about build your audience to six-figure status. All right. Then I'm going to share, the story of how I built this business in 90 days. I'm going to talk about, everything that we did. It started on March 21st and what we did over 90 days and 120 days and how we have clients now all over the world. And then I'm going to play, the final thing I'm going to play today is a masterclass that John Limbacher and I recorded about marketing and the ACT program, because it came back to so many times people who were coming to me were not having the very basics needed to understand this ACT program, and going through why John is going to share it today again is because of that ACT program and helped me create another business by studying an audience around me and being able to create that. And that's what John's going to go through in that thing today and share with you. All right. Again, the concept of the ACT program and learning how to market, just like Ben Franklin marketed his wood stove way, way, way back before there was anything ever called an internet, a TV, and a radio, or any of that stuff. So we're going to close out with that today. And then I'm going to do some final goodbyes. All right. I'm going to do a final goodbye. I don't actually have, I won't be able to play the song that I wanted to play because we can't play songs and do these things. But hey, that's part of the way that live streaming has gone. But anyway, we're going to now bring in our first speaker of the day, Mr. Paul Fink. Let's get him on here on the screen here and see how smiley he is.
Hey, buddy.
How you doing, man?
I can't believe it. This is a sorrow day and a celebration all at the same time. And we will continue to create and to do all that we do. This is just a small door closing, not the whole place.
No, there's you're in the business. There's something at the end that gets revealed, right?
It's so fascinating, this whole journey we've been on since COVID, and it's taken us all through this evaluation process. And if someone in the world has not evaluated what they're doing and where they're going and how they're doing it, they've missed what's been happening. Everybody has been going through that, and it's taken most people on new journeys, and it's been fascinating to be a part of and to watch.
It has. So, and you were with us on our very first virtual. Do you remember that?
Yes, indeed. I can't believe it.
The
whole thing frames it perfectly.
Yeah, and it was you. I was trying to get Joe on, but Joe transitioned his whole world, and it's different things now. But trying to get you and Joe, and I was trying to get Larry Roberts on too. But Joe and Larry, two different directions, and I hardly ever see him anymore. It's life. It is. It's life. It's business. So, but anyway, do you have slides or anything you want to share today, or Paul? Or is it just
I do. I can. Would you like slides?
You can do it. Just hit the share button. We'll put them in.
Share is, and where is
present
it?
down below? And I think
yep. And slides. Let's see if it's here. I have no slides. Let's see. Oh, sorry about that. I do have it. My computer. Let's see if it's asking me to upload file.
Uh-oh.
Now we're complicated things here. Let's see if this works.
What do we do when we don't have our assistant to do that stuff?
I can't believe it. Can't believe it. Let's see. Did that work?
No, I'm not seeing them down below yet.
The PDF first. What? You know what? I may not need slides. It's okay. Wouldn't that be great? Yeah. Well, let's just fly with it, because I can talk about this stuff just as easily as I can show it. So I will absolutely. And the only thing at the end is we will create we'll punch in the link in the chat, make it easy for them.
That works.
Although it's a speakable link, so it makes sense. Okay. A couple things that you were talking about is how we got started and how we got into this. When I first got started, I had no name. I had no list. Mm-hmm. I had no experience as a speaker. I had sold things, but sold things one-on-one, sold things in a professional realm. And I was in the medical field and the dental field, and I sold stuff like that. And then all of a sudden this speaker thing comes up, and people want to know how I built all my businesses. And so I got on stage, scared to death of stage, whether it was virtual or live, it didn't matter. I wanted to freak out. I'm not the guy I used to be. And I had never sold anything on stage. I wasn't that person. And so now it's 17 years. I can't believe it, Tim. 17 years since I started, and I've sold over $50 million worth of product through this whole platform of being a stage speaker. Mm-hmm. And I've run over 250 3-day boot camps, let alone thousands of presentations like this, mm-hmm. and created a whole life. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I want you to know that no matter where you are, and you talked about how you had no list, and you basically were starting, you weren't one of these big players out there, yeah. And neither was I. And one of the things I learned, and one of the things that may be misleading with my title of building your audience to be a 6-figure status, is that it doesn't mean you need 6 million people in your list, or even 600,000, or even 6,000. I don't talk about some of the techniques and strategies around all that. How does that sound so far?
That sounds good. I just, the question I want to ask you, all right, is I want to let you loose on that, because I know you got a great message here today. Is your business model, how has it changed going back to live events after COVID? Did you have to tweak it because of the cost of hotels? Did you have to tweak it because of things, or no?
I didn't have to tweak it, because as you said, I figured this out long ago. and how to really create magic with small rooms.
Yeah.
And it's one of the techniques and that I'm going to go into is doing a deeper dive. Most people that get introduced into this arena, if you will, they go wide rather than deep. And what that means is they'll start off with a $97 product or a $47 product or a $27 product or even as much as, oh my gosh, $297, and they'll look to run with that. But they won't have anything after that. There won't be any upsell. They have a great product. They spent all their year putting together the product, and then they go out there and they hit the stages. Well, when you're running a 3-day boot camp and all you have is a $297 product, or even a product that may be a couple $1,000s, it's not enough to sustain the expense of what you're putting together. Unless you have a huge audience, unless you put hundreds of people in the room. However, when you put hundreds of people in the room, the expense on the front end of marketing, let alone all the upfront costs of actually housing it into a live event, usually bankrupts most people. And it takes hundreds of thousands of dollars to make that happen effectively. And so people say, no. So I'm not going to do that. They also don't know how to do the other technique of going deep. And that is building something that's of huge value so that it can work effectively as far as the numbers are concerned. And so early on, I learned how to, with a room of 10, 20, 30, 40 people, on how you can actually have a live event, go deep with something that's hugely valuable, high end. And I lock arms with my clients and go the distance, meaning I've got some of my clients that have been with me for like 13, 14 years.
Now, I know, and I know quite a few of those guys, by the way.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Demi, who's been with me now for the last 5 years. I can't believe I was just talking to her the other day, and it's been 5 years she's been on board with us, and we've changed her life. And that's what rewards me and keeps me going and sustains me. When COVID hit, I did a deep dive in making sure our community held together because that was so important. And and Demi's a great example. She went from really struggling to now, and I don't know whether you've heard some of her success stories, but over this last year, she built up her coaching business over the last couple of years, and she's now making somewhere around $450,000, $500,000 in her coaching business, and it keeps growing. And that's an amazing, amazing scenario. And she started off with the understanding of some of the numbers that I taught her, and she started off with a $5,000 program. She started off with a $5,000 program when she was choking on $5,000, if you know what I mean. So to even ask for that kind of ask, even when you have huge value behind it, when you ask for that kind of ask and you're not comfortable with it, you can choke on it. And you can stumble over it. And over the next couple months, she got comfortable with it. Well, what happens when you get comfortable? The best thing to do is to move yourself so you're uncomfortable again.
Right.
That's how growth happens. And so we kept making sure she was uncomfortable so that now she's got a powerhouse program that is selling consistently. She's got a 11,000 plus private Facebook group that keeps on growing, and she turns down more people than she accepts. And her coaching program is now $25,000.
What a huge difference.
That's where you make the 6-figure and 7-figure incomes. That's where all that comes to pass.
And do you find, all right, and I knew you and I would get into questions because we could do this all day. But anyway, do you find that when people are coming to you with you've got great knowledge, all right, great ways to advance them, but how many times have they come to you and they want to hear those? Great numbers you just shared with Demi, but they're not typical. We got to say that they're not typical, but they are typical for you but they don't happen in 3 months is what you know, everybody comes, sometimes they come here, they want that to happen. They don't realize that's a couple-year process to get that happening. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what's the question?
The question is, how many times do they come to you going, dude, I want to do this. I got to do it now.
Here's the challenge, you know, and you and I have been through the test of time. Mm-hmm. And I remember I was invited and spoke on one of the largest real estate wealth building stages there is in the country. It was what used to be called the Learning Annex. Now it's the Wealth Expo. And I remember being invited to that stage, and I was all excited. And this was the stage with Anthony Robbins, Pitbull, you name it, they were on there.
And, I went to one when it was Donald Trump. Anyway,
and Donald Trump and Robert Kiyosaki, and this was the stage. And so I'm finally invited onto this stage, and I'm getting all ready. I'm getting on the stage. We start marketing that I'm going to be on the stage, and all I heard was, "Oh my God, congratulations! That's so amazing!" And all I kept thinking to myself was, "Yeah. 10 years overnight success. Yeah, baby." Because, oh, you're so lucky. I can't believe that happened to you. And I've been working day in and day out, moving my business to the point where I would get that kind of invitation. And it was a 10-year process. And then people want to go, yeah. How can I get there? I went, well, now I can help you get there in less time than it took me because you have me.
Yeah. Well, you learned where the landmines are.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, dude, don't step there. I mean, I can tell you, same here.
People are looking for the silver bullet. They're looking for the magic pill. They're looking for that thing that goes, yeah. Just give me this. And unfortunately, our arena is filled with people that say, yeah. I've got the magic pill. If you ever hear that, no, it's false.
Yeah.
Because there's not one thing. There is a bunch of different things to be a great entrepreneur, to build a great business, to build a business that's going to be multi-6-figure into 7-figure. And some people go, I only need a few $1,000s. I understand. And you want someone who knows how to build a multi-6-figure business so that you can easily build a 6-figure business.
Yes.
That's really key. And so they're looking for this greatness. It's going to take a little bit of time. However, over the next year, could I make sure that you're going to double your income? Yeah. Could I make sure that you make that $100,000 this year? More than likely. And I say more than likely because it does take two. Yeah. There is a certain amount of effort you've got to put in. But in giving that effort, you create a magic in your life. And I want to talk about the rest of the story, which is our own lifestyle. You know, Tim, you've got a lifestyle and you're like, man, leave me alone. Let me go hang out. And I don't want to have any work that I ever do. Just bring in the money.
Yeah.
Like me, I'm
there's other things to my lifestyle. Like,
right.
Like I live in like the part of town that you used to visit me in. Right. I don't live down there anymore. I've moved further north. And I was explaining to my brother who was here in town visiting, and he's staying with a friend way south of Dallas. And he's like, well, you got to come down and visit his friend. And I'm like, dude, do you understand, for me, like 121, which is far north of Dallas? I said, that's like the Mexican line to me. I don't want to go that far south anymore. And he's like, what? I'm like, I just got to the point I don't want to go down there anymore. Right? I very rarely go into Dallas anymore. Yeah.
Lifestyle
change.
Now me, I like to travel.
Yeah.
And I like to travel for a couple different reasons. One, I love change. I love like variety of views, a variety of people. And I also get to travel with my wife. So then it makes it extra special. People are like, oh man, you don't want to be on the road 200 days out of the year, traveling. I want to be home. No, I bring my home with me. So I bring my wife. It's like a honeymoon 2-3 times a month because we go and travel. Matter of fact, in 2 days, we're going to Chicago together. We were just in Texas together. We were down in Texas for a few days. And so we've bounced around, and we enjoy that. We love that. And so the rest of the story is knowing how to craft, how to design your life on purpose. Whatever you want is possible. I remember criteria back I set 20 years ago that said, I will never work anywhere outside of my home. I've built up multiple $1 million businesses only out of a home office. And I designed it on purpose. One of the reasons I designed it on that way is because I've got children. I've got 3 sets of twins, for those of you that don't know. I've got 6 children. And when the last set were born, I went, I want to be here for them. I want to be in the home in the morning. I want to be in the home at night and be around. And I was still traveling, built up this business, speaking around the world. Well, guess what? They came with us. So my wife and I and my children traveled all over the country together. And still to this day, now they're 21, 22, 27. Tim, I've got an event now in Vegas in a couple weeks. It's September 8th, 9th, and 10th. And get 2 of my adult children, one of my 21-year-olds, one of my 22-year-olds will be in Vegas with me hanging out. And that's pretty normal for us. Like having my wife, my kids around, even at this age. Now, I got to tell you, for all you parents out there, how many of your 21, 22-year-olds want to hang out with you? That's powerful. And that's the lifestyle that I built.
Yeah. Well, Paul, I'm going to set you loose because I know you got a great message here today. All right. To share with the audience, aside from talking with me, but anyway.
Love talking with you, Tim.
Yep. So I'm going to let you go on the clock. I'm going to go ahead and bathroom break. I'm here in the green room. If you need me, just yell.
How much extra time are you giving me now? I know we took up some talking.
Oh, you got 30 minutes, dude.
Oh, beautiful. We're good to go.
All right.
Very good. Thank you, Tim.
Yep.
I'll talk to you soon. So for all of you, you've heard, I'm Paul Fink, the Maverick Millionaire, and I have been speaking and training now for 16 years. Prior to that, 36 years as an entrepreneur, building up $1 million businesses. And now in my speaking, I help people understand what's possible for them, understand their fullest potential so that they can also build up 6-figure and 7-figure businesses, no matter what industry they're in, and make it work for them. For some of my clients who are coaches, speakers, trainers, I also have 250 boot camps under my belt. I ran a speaker support business for some of the top real estate gurus in the world, and we ran all their events as well for about 10 years. And so a ton of experience in crafting the coaching programs and crafting all the pieces of what we have available for you. And so I want to talk about a couple things. One is, we all get started. I was talking to Tim about the fact that I got started. I didn't have a list. I didn't have a name. I was brand new in the speaker world. And then it was 17 years later, I'm now speaking to all of you. How did I get started? How did I build up this platform? I started with the struggles, same as you. I had no time, no money. I was missing out on life, or at least I thought maybe I might if I built this up the wrong way. Are you struggling with your time? Struggling to figure out how to put it all into play? You see me now and it looks like I've got everything all together, only it's almost oftentimes it feels like we're the ducks in the pond. Everything looks calm on the top. However, underneath we're paddling away. That's the way most people are operating, especially since COVID and everything that's happened in our COVID world. So how do we get past all that? How do we create more in our world? A couple things I want to talk to you about. One on a bigger picture, and then we're going to get down into the weeds as far as how to really make sure that your coaching business, speaking business, content, webinars, whatever it is, creates the life that you want. The first is on a 10,000 view aspect is, How do you get into the game? And this doesn't matter where you are. You're in your journey. You want to draw a line in the sand to create more, to create a difference. Most people are here because you want more in your life. You want either more money, more time, freedom. You want to be able to get out of your own way. And well, here's some of the things that you need to do. One is you have to decide what you want. You have to decide what you want. And what do I mean by that? You're like, I already know what I want. Most people, when I ask them what they want, they either hesitate, they stumble on it, or they say something really vague like, I want financial freedom. I want world peace. They say that they're looking for freedom. I ask them what that means. They're like, to do whatever I want, when I want, how I want. When I talk about decide, you want to be more specific. It's kind of like a GPS system. A GPS system takes 2 points of reference to be able to create a roadmap for you to get to where you want to go. The first is knowing who you are right now. All great in a separate conversation. We'll get to that maybe later. The second point is where you're going. And it doesn't ask you for a vague reference. Oh, I'm going somewhere over there. Your GPS system asks for the exact address, the exact dot of where you want to go. And that's true with all life. You've got to have the exact dot of where you want to go. So you've got to set and decide on what do you want specifically, concisely. And usually I would recommend have a number to it so that it is trackable. What does that look like? So you want financial freedom. What is the exact amount of revenue you need to create that'll give you what you consider financial freedom? For some people, it's $1 million. Some people, it's 50 million. Some people, it's give me a $300 a month and I'm happy. You get to decide, only you must decide. So decide what you want, write it down, make sure it's specific, make sure it's trackable, so that, which means it's got a number to it. Second piece to that is, and now let's call that our D, and I'm going to go DCBA because I'm a maverick. So instead of ABCs, we're going DCBA. Decide is the first step. C is your commit. You've got to commit. And I hear this often. People say, I want to be a millionaire. And then they'll go hang out with their buddies and they'll tell their buddies, I want to be a millionaire. They'll go to maybe an event and they'll say, I want to be a millionaire. But what are they actually doing on a day-to-day basis to create that in their life? See, the C stands for commit. And with every line item, every goal that you have, every major target you're going after, you want to absolutely set down what your commitment level is from a scale of 1 to 10. On a scale of 1 to 10, is it a 10 or is it a 9? Your commitment level to reach that goal, to achieve that thing, to make that income. What is your level of commitment that you'll do whatever it takes to make it happen? Here's what I would recommend. If you go through and be honest with yourself as you go through your line items of exactly what you want, that when you decide that your commitment level is an 8, let's say, you have 2 choices. You can either lower or eliminate your goal. So if your goal was, I want to make $300,000 in the next year, and then you get real with yourself and you ask, what's my commitment level? And you say it's an 8 to reach $300,000. Listen, lower your goal and make it 100,000. Is it a level 10 to make 100,000? You'll do whatever it takes to make the 100, but not the 300. That's what we want to decide. That's what we want to get clear with. So your commitment level is very important because you're either going to lower your goal or raise your commitment. That's an option. but you've got to be real with yourself. Most people set goals that they're not committed to. They go, oh, I want to get in shape. I want a washboard stomach. I'm never going to the gym. I'm not going to spend that many hours in the gym to make that happen. But man, that's what I want. Your commitment level isn't high enough to actually achieve it. And what happens, and the saddest thing is that as time goes on, you just keep beating yourself up, thinking that you had this goal that you actually didn't achieve, and there must be something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. You just weren't committed to your goals. That's your life choice, your decision. So don't beat yourself up. Just adjust your goals to be exactly what you want. So that's your commit. The B stands for believe. You must believe in yourself. You must believe in your product. You must believe in your company. You must believe wholeheartedly that what you're doing, what you're servicing, what you're offering up to other people has such great value that the exchange of value is off the charts, so that you are giving more than you're receiving, and it is absolutely worthwhile. And you've got to believe that to the bottom of your soul. You've got to believe that you're living a purposeful life. You've got to believe in yourself, believe in your company, believe in everything that you do. You want high levels of success. You want to actually achieve. You want to achieve a six-figure success story. Believe in everything that you're doing. And again, it's the same concept as the commit. It's either believe in what you're doing or change. Change what you're doing. Do something that you do believe in. Sell something, create something, be somebody that you do believe in. Watch the change that happens. And of course, the A is action. We've got to get into action and make it all happen for ourselves to create so much more in our life. A is the action. So when we decide, commit, believe, and act, we actually have a chance to create success and create the six figures. I want to go on to the next point of reference. So all that was about our internal foundation, how we get started, how we get in the game. The rest of the story, and I want to talk about, well, the title of this segment might be Do the Math. And as what Tim and I were just talking about just a little bit ago is the concept that you don't need hundreds of people in your arena, hundreds of people in your list to create a six-figure status, to create six-figure income, because you can create high value. I do have a slide that I put up in my events, and I do live events all the time. You're interested in coming to one of my live events, absolutely take advantage. I've got a offer that'll be happening towards the end of this little transaction. And if you go to maverickoffer.com, you'll see all about that, where we get some one-on-one time. But with the live events, I put up a slide, and the slide talks about how to do six figures. Well, one of the ways to bring in six figures in revenue is to sell one person $100,000 item, or you can sell 100,000 people a $1 item, and then there's a sliding scale in between. Well, which is easier? 100,000 people that'll give you $1, or one person that'll give you 100,000? Both, I would say, have their own level of difficulty. However, the sweet spot is somewhere in the middle. So whether it's a $1,000 product or a $10,000 product, realize, all you need is $10,000 customers, and you've brought in your $100,000 in revenue. So understanding the math, understanding where you fit in that, will determine the actions that you take. When you're looking for 10 qualified people that would be willing and able to have an exchange of value at a $10,000 level, well, that's a different game than looking for 100,000 people that'll give you $1. And it's a different way to market. It's a different way to present. Knowing that difference will create the difference in your world, but doing the math will give you some direction, some focus. I've been running businesses for over 36 years in multiple different industries and creating $1 million businesses. And there's a couple key components in creating a magic profits in your business. One is you can decrease your expenses. And there's a lot of business consultants out there that'll drive you towards that end. And I got to tell you, there's a part of me that always looks at that like a fool's game. Because as much as you want to lower expenses, usually you're taking things out of your life in lowering expenses, or you're going to lower it incrementally, which means a fractional piece. You might be able to create an income level or an increase in your bottom line of about 10%, give or take. If you're looking for a 10% incremental change in your income, go work with those people. You're looking to double your income. You're looking to triple your income. Come hang out with me. So decreasing your expenses will only get you so far, and you cannot save your way to ultimate freedom, especially in the short term. You want to go through 30, 40 years. You have that much time. You can absolutely do that. There's methodologies for that. You want to create freedom over the next 5 years. It's not going to happen by saving your way to freedom. It's not going to happen by decreasing your expenses. The next story is that you could very possibly increase your leads. And that's where a lot of people go to. That's the next thing, where they just start marketing like crazy, spending all their time and energy in putting out information to market their products or service to bring in massive amounts of leads. The other way that you can increase profits is by increasing the value of what you offer, or by decreasing your price. And they say decreasing your price because you're going to attract more people. When I lower my price, my product isn't selling at $1,000. Let me sell it at $500. My product's not selling at $500. Let me sell it at $200. My product's not selling at $200. Let me sell it at $100. Well, what if there was an easier way? What if there was a way to, what I would call, counterintuitively approach the marketplace and approach the business from a whole different angle? For instance, and here's the easy way, and I know most of you are looking for that easy way rather than the hard. We talked how there's definitely a journey in front of you. However, this is the crux. One, instead of simply increasing leads, how about if we increase what we call conversions? Meaning that you learn the skills, you sharpen your axe, you learn the skills to close more people. I teach courses on negotiation, sales, communication, and teach people how to convert at a higher level. And what that means is that you learn how to influence, persuade, engage people at a whole new level, so that when you're having a conversation with them, they're either going to understand that this is definitely for them or understand that it's definitely not. Only the magnitude of people that say yes to you increases exponentially because you learned how to communicate your offer better. You learned how to communicate your value better. And with that, you end up engaging more people. You end up engaging more people at a higher level. So you increase your conversions. That automatically increases your bottom line. At my live events, for instance, most people, the closing ratio is somewhere around 10% across the board in the industry. At my live events, we're usually looking at about 30 to 40% of the people are running to get into our programs. 30 to 40%, that's a 3 to 4 times what the national average is. Those simple components of conversion, and it's not about manipulation, it's not about tricks or anything of that sort. Absolutely understanding the exchange of value, understanding on how to give more, present more, offer more to create more for more people. That's what we've created, and that's what I teach people. So focusing on increasing your conversion, sharpening your axe. Second component is increasing not just value, but increasing perceived value. And what's the difference between value and perceived value? is that increasing value usually means here is a bar of gold that's worth $1,000, and you're going to give me $1,000 for my bar of gold. That's an even exchange of value. But what if this bar of gold not only can be utilized as gold and a bar, but it also can be used as a paperweight? Now we're not only increasing the value, but I'm showing you different ways to use the same product, which then creates more of a perceived value, because it doesn't cost me anything more. It multi-purpose for the product for you, and you're able to see how it can be of increased value to you versus how it might be of value to me. And so your perceived value is higher than mine. Thus, that exchange of value, we're still exchanging $1,000 gold bar for $1,000. However, your perceived value makes that even more valuable to you. And there's several ways to do that in the marketplace, understanding perceived value concepts so that you can offer up more and more for your client in helping them get more and more use out of what you deliver without it costing you more money. And so that perceived value increase can also dramatically increase your bottom line. And this is really interesting and fascinating is the psychology. I started off with a degree in clinical psychology. I've been trained in neurolinguistic programming, have been trained in hypnotherapy, understand the human condition. And a lot of what I do is applied psychology, applied neuroscience, applied metascience, understanding the components of how that relates to business methodology and how the two intertwine together to create mega success for most people. In that realm, when we talk about one other way to increase profits, and that is by increasing price. Now, a couple of different, just doing the math phenomenon here. When you increase your price of whatever product or service you have, that differential, you will go where? Where does it go? If you increase your product by the price of your product by $10, how much of that $10 gets to your bottom line? How much of that $10 do you have as pure profit? The answer is all of it. You haven't increased your fixed cost. You haven't increased your variable cost. You've increased your pricing, and thus the $10 falls right to your bottom line. So as a business, you do exceptionally well by increasing your pricing. Most people say that when you increase your price, you're actually going to sell less, because the more you're pricing, the less of a market there is. And so you might end up selling less as you increase your price. Thus, it'll all even out. Well, the math of it doesn't always reflect that, because there's a couple concepts that I want you to get. One is value of a product is determined by the price. Hear that well. The value of the product is often determined by the price that is on the product. So if you see a piece of art that's priced at $10, you're going to look at that and go, well, that's a $10 piece of art. You could see the same painting in an art gallery and decide, just because it's in an art gallery, that it is a priceless piece of art. Your evaluation wasn't based on what the actual is. Same piece of art. Only because you saw it priced at $10, what you perceived it to be of value was $10. That happens in all aspects of the marketplace. All places in the marketplace, we experience this. So what does that mean for you? When you're selling something at $100 and then you have another product at $1,000, which do most people perceive has more value? The $1,000 item. They do that when they're comparing two different companies as well. So when you're the lowest priced product in the marketplace, it doesn't mean you actually sell more. It could mean that more people in the market devalue who you are. And thus you never get past step one in building your company. So be aware, pricing will dictate how they perceive you. In addition to that, and I've also seen and experienced that in some markets, because they judge the value of it based on price, they're more apt to buy the higher priced product than the lower. I was just in a market where it was hugely successful YouTube channel. This is online sales. This is through webinars, and they would have guests come on, and the guests would be selling guests, and they would sell different products or services. And they would traditionally have people sell for $200 or $100, maybe even $47 on their webinars. And what they found was they had moderate success and they were doing okay. They then decided to change the model. They then decided they had one person on there who had a higher priced item, and they went, sure. And they went through the whole model, and the guy had a $2,000 product. Well, that $2,000 product ended up going gangbusters. Same audience, same network, same system, same setup. And the $2,000 item sold tenfold what the $100 item was selling. Why the differential? In analysis, what they found is their marketplace, their database was of a higher quality of people that looked at the $100 item as not worthy. They looked at that as junk, and that the $2,000 item was high value. And so people would jump at the chance to get high value, whereas they shunned the low value. Value is perceived and created based on the price that's charged. So for all of you out there that are experience this and saying, well, I've got a low price item, what do I do? Build something that has higher value and bring it to market at a higher price, and watch the possibilities shift and change. Watch the possibilities of what happens in your bottom line. Do the math. Be aware of what's possible. We talked about Demi before. Debbie Woodson's been a client of mine for the last 5 years, and she went through this process, and at first was really difficult for her to say $5,000. And now she's got a product that is over the top. And I got to tell you, she's been now doing this for a couple of years, and we're not talking about gouging people. We're not talking about giving them, robbing them. We're talking about giving great value. Only in doing so, you elevate yourself to a whole new level, and you get comfortable asking for that great value in exchange. And when you do, you're able to set a platform of business where you're able to give great value, give great service, because you're asking for the amount of you're asking for the exchange and the value, the investment that actually pays for the great service. And so now you've got this great exchange of value that sets you up for six-figure and beyond status in your business and everything that you're doing. Like I said, I've been doing this for a long time, and the last point I want to leave you with is never, 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 never give up. We've gone through a ton here, and I've been through the journey. I've been coaching at this level for 17 years. And what I can tell you is that there are times when, man, it felt so easy. Other times when it was difficult as hell. Not necessarily all in a straight line, that we went all over the board and back again. The thing that has caused a ultimate success in my journey is that I never gave up. Resiliency. Stay the course. Don't let the economy, don't let the COVID, don't let any of these things take you off track. Stay the course. Keep on keeping on. Keep the lighthouse in front of you of where you want to go, deciding where you want, committing to it, believing in it, and taking action every single day. I've been able to do that. Like I said, I've been on some of the top stages in the country: Wealth Expo, Real Estate Expo, Learning Annex. Did a few programs with The Power of Winning, or The Psychology of Winning with Dennis Waitley, and I was on the tour, The Psychology of Winning, and Rich Dad Poor Dad tours. Spoke on stages with Bob Proctor. Spoke on stages with Les Brown. All these components of working with some of the best people in the world on both personal development, business development, how to create a great life. I built up, now it's been 18 bestsellers are under my belt. I've co-authored with well over 400 different authors. We also have a publishing house, and we help people do this every day. I've got my own podcast, Mavericks Do It Different podcast, that's in the top 10% in the world. Also have a TV show, also have a movie. Movie just came out in this year in 2023, Beyond Limitations. You got to go to Amazon Prime. It's one of the thought leaders in this movie, talking about how to break through limitations, how to break through everything that it's holding you back. I've got a nonprofit called Empowered Tomorrow, where we are building the leaders of tomorrow today and building curriculum for the younger generation on how to get financial wealth, how to get secure in their future, and how to be real leaders in our society. All this and more is possible, and I want to give you an offer, because with everything that we're doing here and this, I can't believe it is the last Simple Easy event and last of everything that we're doing here with Tim of this particular format. Not the last you're going to see of Tim, absolutely not. I want to offer you up a chance. Let's talk. Let's actually talk about what you're doing. And one of the things that, for anybody who's a speaker, coach, trainer, anybody that's building content, let me talk to you about how to take the next level with that and spend a little time. It'll be a one-on-one I'm offering up to you. This is totally free. It's my gift to all of you. It's one of the things that is there behind the link, maverickoffer.com, maverickoffer.com. So you want to go there and get clear with that. And you're going to get a free consultation where I'm going to spend time with you. Yes, it's going to be me on the phone with you. Yes, it's going to be a Zoom call. And we're going to go through what exactly you're doing now to create income and how you can step to the next level to create even more in all that you're doing so that you can reach that six-figure status, given that that's what you would like. You're also going to get a free download, because one of the things I know is that most people are already running full speed, running everywhere, and don't have enough time in their day to accomplish all that they want to accomplish. There's a great multimedia book that I created called Maverick Time that you're going to get a download of, that has both video and audio training, has some great pros in there, a whole book on how to really take charge of your day, take charge of the minutes in your life to grab more of it so that you magically can create more time in your life and in your day. So those two things. And here's one last offer. Since this is the last time we're going to be here together, maverickoffer.com. I've got 5 specific tickets, 5 guest passes left over for my event. It's coming up in just a few weeks in Las Vegas, September 8th, 9th, and 10th. I've got 5 tickets left that I can gratis to you to be my special guest at the event. They're $2,000 tickets. And right now, you want to grab hold of maverickoffer.com, opt into that right now. And the first 5 people that do that are going to get a free guest pass to my $2,000 event. Absolutely take advantage of this. This is the only time, and that's just for you, Tim, the only time that I'll be doing this. So absolutely grab hold. The first 5 people that respond to maverickoffer.com, register in there. We will get you all set up for coming to the live event, where we're going to learn more about sales, about marketing, about the engagement, on how to level up and how to create more in your life. This isn't a sell-a-thon. It's me on stage for 3 days with about 50 people in the room. This is a mastermind level experience. Absolutely, you want to grab hold. It's a $2,000 event. Will be yours for free. First 5 people that respond. Take care. Love you all. This is Paul Fink, the Maverick Millionaire. Go to maverickoffer.com. Thank you so much.
Whoa. It has been so good to have you be part of my events over the years, and I just, I'm honored you're here for the last of this series.
Unbelievable.
I love how you share. Number one, you go into the ideas of this, but I had this other thought I wanted to share, and I didn't write it down. Like, you know what I mean? And we went into, because I was going in to type in the offer anyway. But Paul, there are so many people out there who are not, they're not genuine in what we do, right? Mm-hmm. You've seen them, I've seen them. All right, they appear genuine, right? And they, you know what I mean? They are all about sales. You know what I mean? And I get it. If we don't make sales, we don't make money, right? But they don't ever have the heart behind it. So you can see that facade of this guy's just trying to sell me. You met him. We both met him. You and I, actually, I think you and I have run from the same one anyway.
Yeah. And unfortunately, what is frustrating for you and I, and we've had these conversations, is that the general populace who are just walking into this type of arena and not really experienced with what this might feel like or look like, mm-hmm. don't necessarily run from it. They don't recognize that that's what's happening, and it's not always obvious. Mm-hmm. That the people are there's nothing behind what they're selling, and they sell what I talked about early on is that magic pill. They sell that and they go, oh man, this is gonna light you up, and like my 3-day event does transform people.
Yeah, I've seen it, and like I've never attended the whole 3-day event.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why. Yeah, ADHD. What's the deal, man? Come on.
Here's why. I'm not going to go into that with him, but anyway. But we always, when Paul and Deb are in town, we always try to go visit. And I do have to say this when we talk about the authenticity of people, because one person who comes to make sure she sees both you and your wife is someone who will really not interested in my program or yours, and it's because she's retired. She's on with her life, and that's my mother.
Yep.
My mother, when Paul and Deb are in town, we have to go stop by his event, because if we don't, she's going to be upset that she didn't get a hug from Paul and Deb.
Yep. and we arrange it so that during lunchtime at my events, usually the team is out taking some of our clients out to lunch and that sort of thing, and I disappear to my room for a couple moments of relaxation and put my feet up, and Tim's there, Mom's there, and we're all hanging out. My wife is always with me. We're all hanging out in my room in the hotel.
Yeah, I think I've seen more of your suites than I have Craig's, and I've been in Craig's program for 10 years.
Yes, yeah. I kind of play it. I stay really grounded. I joke with people, but this is true. Like when I first got started, and hundreds of people, I'd go on some of the big stages and I'd get all the applause and everything else. Well, then I was still going home to change like 20 diapers in the day. So when you're dealing with that kind of shit, man, you stay grounded.
Yeah. It's just, that's just the reality of life. All right. And as I said, I've seen the people in our industry, and a lot of them have frustrated me that, they are not, they don't take into effect that, oh my God, I still have a real life. And they're out here selling this high fancy dream. And, I had a person who joined my mastermind. Well, no, you didn't come to it. You didn't speak at that one because that was when the Deb got sick and you had to go. All right. I remember. And you sent somebody in your place because and a lady signed up for my coaching, my mastermind program, who 3 months into it couldn't afford it. And we're talking like a $5,000 program. We're not talking like $5,000 program, couldn't afford the program. So she begged me to get out. And okay, fine, I'll let you out. Right. Less than 60 days later, I get the emails from her list and everybody I know in town about how she's teaching everybody to be a millionaire. Can't afford a $5,000 program, but because that's the catchy phrase.
Yeah.
Paul can say Maverick Millionaire because he sold $50 million worth of product and he's helped hundreds of people become millionaires. You not get that, guys? That's the truth in our industry, and that's where you find the people. That's why I have you on my last one, right?
Yeah. And so much of it is I tell people all the time, I put my head down, I do what I do, and I don't worry about the rest. I don't get caught up in the Facebook buzz. I don't get caught up in the glitz and the glamour of saying, hey, this is who I am or what I'm all about. It's stay grounded, keep doing what you're doing, keep bringing great value, and things always turn, always work out, always create. And we've been able to sustain just amazing results, create just amazing experiences all around the world. We do high-level masterminds and villas all around the world. We've traveled. My wife and I have had a great life. My 6 kids I paid for 24 years of college over the last 10, little things that this has all afforded me. Mm-hmm. And it's all because I didn't let my head get away from me. Mm-hmm. I stayed grounded and I stayed focused on delivering value to everyone that's in front of me.
Exactly. And I do recall one of your retreats, if I can share some private stories that you learned that you've got to get the disclaimer, or not the disclaimer. You got to get the waiver signed ahead of time.
Are you talking about one of the more recent ones?
See, these are behind the scenes things that I'll make them talk about on my events, because I will, because it's funny things.
So we walk into an event. So here we are, we're renting this just gorgeous event. We're in Dominican, rented a private villa. We've got the whole place to ourselves. There's only about 15 people that are coming in that are some of my newest members to my mastermind. And I just welcome them in the door. Someone comes in with their iPhone, going through, taking pictures and taking a video of the place as they're walking, not paying any attention to where they're walking, tripped over a stair, and all you see is the video is going, wah! And the first night there, they fortunately didn't sprain it. They just twisted it really bad. So ice pack, elevation, for the whole first night that she was there, all because she was.
I think that was
bad with doing what she was doing and taking video.
Didn't that become a transforming weekend for her though?
Oh yeah,
like there was some other breakthroughs she got in that weekend. I think you told me about. I don't have the full story on it, but like that girl, it changed her whole weekend, right? And you'd think like most of us will be like, oh man, I got hurt, let's go home. She stayed. And it transformed her life by staying, if I recall.
And that was about a year ago, maybe. No, that was less. That was only about 6 months ago. And lo and behold, and I'm not sure I'm going to say names right now, but her son and daughter-in-law are in the program now as well.
Yeah, I mean that's where we talk about
we're changing worlds. I was just talking to them yesterday.
Yeah, that's the point of this whole thing. Is and I brought up that story because of the fact of how much she dove in to change her life. Yeah. Some of y'all are coming in here going, well, I didn't fit the magic pill in one weekend. Oh, I tripped and hurt myself. Oh, Paul cracked my back and made me fall into a chair. That's another story, right? But winners never let that stop us. We move forward, right? And that's the people who are getting into your programs and people who've been in my program, the winners, right? They're the ones we'll bend over backwards to help the winners.
One of my longest standing clients, and I'll talk about this real brief, is 13 years now. Mm-hmm. You're like, holy cow, what's that about? And I locked arms with them 13 years ago, and they decided within the first couple of conversations that they wanted to build a legacy business. Mm-hmm. Older couple, they were building up, they were setting for retirement by doing real estate and doing some rehab flips. And we helped them create a legacy business so that pretty much from scratch, they now are valued well over 25 million, and their 3 adult children are all working for the company. Mm-hmm. This is a major shift in life. Mm-hmm. And those are the things that I love doing is creating the difference for people's future. And you never know where it's going to come from. I challenge you. And I don't know whether you heard, Tim, but I offered up 5 free tickets. First 5 people that respond to maverickoffer.com get a ticket to our live mastermind.
Okay, yeah. That's what I was going to touch on. You said, there are $2,000 tickets. Do you not realize I know people who paid $2,000 to go to these events?
Yeah. Yeah, no question.
This is not like, well, we're going to put him. No, I know people who pay $2,000 to go to Paul's event. He's giving you a $2,000 ticket. This is not, yeah, but we're going to put this price tag on it. No. There are people out there paying $2,000 to jump and run to this show. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a real deal, and it's a special offer for the people that are here. This does have a heart place for me. And Tim, you haven't heard, and I want to share. It's a little bit surreal for me, only for all of you that have been following and know me. My wife's been sick, and Tim mentioned it briefly a moment ago. My wife, when COVID hit, almost simultaneously got diagnosed with cancer. And she got diagnosed with one of the rarest cancers in the world. Has a mortality rate of 5 years, and it is extremely deadly sarcoma. And we have beaten the odds. Mm-hmm. Now, that didn't come easy. 3 major surgeries, 5 total surgeries later, chemo, radiation, multiple times, some death, near-death experiences at least 5 times in the last 4 years. And as of about 3 weeks ago, mm-hmm. she was given a clean bill of health. There's no cancer in her body.
Wow.
And that was on a cellular level that we tested.
That's miracles right there, ladies and gentlemen, miracles.
And the last surgery, this is how extreme it was, took out her pulmonary artery and rebuilt it from scratch. This isn't just, oh, yeah, well, isn't that nice? Yeah. This is, and we have been together in this battle and fight, and now we're out celebrating, which is why she's been maybe not traveling with me as much in the last few years, only now she's back, ready to take the world by storm. So happy and excited she's alive. That's the way all of you, I would recommend everybody treating life, is that it is larger than life, that we are so excited to live every day. Never stop. Keep on going. Create your magic, because you can. It's up to you.
Yep. All right, my friend, I'm going to move on and finish this up. Thank you so much for being my opening speaker on my last event, and thank you for being part of many of my events over the years. I appreciate you.
Absolute pleasure. Talk to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye, man. Mr. Paul Fink, the Maverick Millionaire, guys. Thank you very much, Mr. Paul Fink. So I like that little sign up there. Thank you, Paul. All right. Hey, guys, that having someone like Paul Fink come in and be part of your events has been great over the years. And the last couple of months, we were trying to put this together and have Paul speak one last time. And we had so many different conflicts. And I think Paul and I texted each other over the past 3 months 90 times each, because Paul was like, hey, wait, I want to speak one more time in your events. And I did not want to tell Paul that it was going to be my last event. All right. So I was kind of holding that back from him because of the fact that I wanted to make this a very valuable thing. And I wanted to make it special having Paul here. So thank you, Paul, for doing that and being part of the event. So I want to tell you guys, I'm going to do a little quick brief story, and then we're going to play this video from John Limbacher. March 21st, 2023. Yes, that is this year. I am sitting here at this desk, ladies and gentlemen, right here, only it was sitting. It was not standing like I am now. And two of both Paul and I's great friends, John's, well, his great friends, is a guy named Ken Walls and a guy named, oh God, what is his name now? I can't think of it. Jeffrey Wolf. God, it's Jeffrey. I'm sorry, I forgot your name, buddy. Jeffrey Wolf are sitting and doing a podcast. It's being broadcast on Facebook. And Ken Walls states, everybody's heard this Chat GPT thing, and we're all, everybody who's teaching Chat GPT, because a lot of them now are the ones that were teaching crypto last year, something else. They've gone over. But Chat GPT in itself is a great, great tool. And we've talked about it many times on this event. But Ken Walls says this night, probably the most transforming thing I ever thought about. He said, do you realize that you could go to ChatGPT right now and type in, all right, and say, I've created a business. You are going to be my new CEO. Here's what I'm going to do. Tell me what to do next. So I'm actually going to go find and see if I can actually find the actual one, because I saved it in ChatGPT. All right. Was it that one? No. This one? No. I should have thought to pull this up before, but I didn't. But anyway, was this it? No, that is not it. Anyway, so I go into ChatGPT on this night, and I actually type in exactly what he said to say. Simple Easy Website Solution. No, for the life of me, I cannot find this now. I'm gonna go all the way back to the beginning and see if it's back in the back. Website practices. No. Anyway, and it's basically I went in and I actually typed in ChatGPT, you are now my CEO. We are creating a company that is called Simple Easy Websites. We are going to actually create a website hosting company. Is that it? Nope. Anyway, I'm not going to find it, and it's bummer me. Anyway, and basically I said, ChatGPT, you are now the CEO of Simple Easy Websites. What we are doing is we're going to create a web hosting business. We are going to offer 3 packages, and here's what the packages are. Package A is going to include this. It's going to be called our basic hosting. Package B is going to include, we gave a list. It said it's going to be our content hosting. Package C is going to include all this, and it's going to be our automation hosting. Here is the price ranges for that. ChatGPT, just tell me, okay. You don't have to tell me anything. Tell me, okay, that you understand. And it said, yes, I understand. I'm a CEO here to give you instructions on how to build your business. That became the moment that I went, okay, we're going to do a 90-day business creation. Because I watched in 2019, all right, as we go back to the original Undercover Billionaire, not the one with Grant Cardone, the one before that inspired me. The one with Grant Cardone, I was okay with it. But the first one, Glenn Stearns, who I wish to God I could have got Glenn Stearns on one of my my virtual events. I know Larry Broughton, and I'm in one of Larry's groups, and I really wanted to get in there and connect through Larry to get to him because Larry knows him. Glenn Stearns was taken and put on his airplane, all right, dropped in Erie, Pennsylvania, and he had 90 days to create $1 million company. And I said, man, I want to do that. I want to, be dropped somewhere with a phone, a car, and make $1 million company, or make any company, really, right? And it hit me the night of March 21st. Why do I have to put it into a challenge like that? Why not put it into a challenge where I don't have any potential customers in an area? I do have an idea that I could possibly turn some people in my list, but really it wasn't focused on that. I could create a business in 90 days and prove that it can be created in a business in 90 days. So on the 21st of March, I said, I'm going to do this over the next 90 days. I actually had ChatGPT outline a 90-day plan, a 30-day tasks that I had to do, marketing I had to do. All right, immediately. I got the websites, first of all, to match it. SimpleEasyWebsites.com. That's websites, but I have Simple Easy Website just in case someone misspells it. Number 2, I called my buddy who did my trademark. And I said, I've got another trademark related to my business. And he said, really? Yep, let's file it. Let's do it. Got that filed. Immediately bought sponsorships to 2 events that I knew my potential clients would be at. Bingo, jumped and bought with them. Eventually, I would go on and buy 3 and 4 other sponsorships, and we'll go out now. And I've got magazine advertisements out. I've got website advertisements out. I've got affiliate program out with everything with it. But I was determined to build that into a business that could potentially turn into 6-figure a year in business. Now, I know some of you are going, yeah, websites, but you create a website, you got to go find a new customer. No, we did the websites because of 2 things, 3 things actually. Number 1, we realized there are a lot of people out there who never get their website done. They're waiting on their brother's girlfriend's son to do it for them. They're waiting on their third cousin Jack's all right, stepdaughter to work on it for him. They're waiting on, you know what I mean, whoever it is that they know, you know, in their networking to do their website, and it's never getting done. I had a gentleman in our mastermind program for quite some years, all right, whose website was never done. His website was never done, right? And we just got sick of it. This is like, okay, if you're not gonna put your website up, dude, you're out of the mastermind. Boom, got it, go on. And we kicked him out of the mastermind. All right. I've had other people in there in the mastermind who basically kept getting around to it. Finally, they got it up. Right. And it's like, what took you so long? Well, I hired this web designer so often, many, many years ago, and they're just not getting to me. I had a web designer like that. Person who did my original timgillette.com website, the first high-end person I paid to do it took, oh God, how long did she take to do the first time she did my website, it was like 8 months. Then I had to do a redo 3.5, 4 years later. All right. And it was another 7 to 8 months. I redid my website the last time because I've studied this. Then I'm like, okay, I kind of know how to do this. I know graphics programs. I know several this builders. I redid my website in 14 days. I did my mom's website. I did my daughter's website. I did, and I started to pop up all these little websites for people and realize you don't have to wait months to get it done. You can have a working website up in 24 hours. Now, it's not going to be the rockstar website, but it is going to be working. And number one is I want to get people on the web. No more waiting, right? If you're starting a business, the fastest you can get is get some sort of advertisement up there about your business, the better. It's not perfect. When your website gets up, the first time it's up there, no one's going to see it for the first 30 days anyway. No one's going to see it that's going to criticize it. Let me put it that way. Just get it up. That was our number one thing. Number two, how many times I've seen people, well, yeah, I have a website, but it got hacked. Well, when's the last time you did updates? Well, my web designer put it up 2 years ago. I haven't done anything since. Dude, I'm in my website almost every day looking to see what's going on into it, what needs to be fixed, what can I tweak, things like that. Every day on my website because I'm in the online business. I'm putting a podcast up every week. When I was doing a blog every day, I was in there every day. So always doing the updates, always keeping things in, keeping a security tool in there to tell me what's going on. A security tool that was blocking things so that I wouldn't do it. So we thought, wait a minute, if I'm going to create a business that is going to be making this much money per year, I can't just design websites and go find next customer design. No. The only thing we wanted to do was we wanted to solve the problem of I need a website up, I need a website maintained because I know nothing about websites. So we only take on customers who we not only build their website, but we host it. One person came to me, all right, in the well, now it's been 5 months. And it's like, no, I want you to do my website. And then when he said, well, you know what I mean? But I'm working with so-and-so over here on this project and so-so on this project. And we want them to run it. And we want them to put up. And I'm like, no. We don't do business that way. This is our business model. We actually build your website. We host it. We run it because it is our licensing. We have to buy a license to run your site. There's several licensings that we buy that have licensed material to run it, licensed builder, things like that. So we're only going to do your website if we have a hosting package that we run it. And we're in your site every day. So solve the second problem. Third problem, talking to my mentor, actually sitting in his office back in March, just before his April event. And we actually, one of his event was one of our sponsorship events, which we're sponsoring his next one here in September as well. And also we are working with him at a retreat he's doing this weekend. And that is, he said, one thing I hated about my website and working with other people was I would give the changes to my guy on a Tuesday night. Well, by the time his person got to it in the Philippines or India or wherever it was they were working, all right, it was now Wednesday morning. By the time he got an answer back to actually look at it was Wednesday night when he was done work. And then he had to put the changes in, which would be, Thursday or Friday. The point being is he wanted something changed and he couldn't get it right. on average, it would take 3 to 4 days to make a sentence change on his website. And he said, I don't want to deal with people who are overseas because it takes too long to get to them. So we decided to create our website company as 100% USA-based team. Again, I believe in America. It's why I did this challenge. Can you still create a business in America today? And I did. The next thing we would look onto it is I was building it for my kids. I said, I'm building this business. I'm going to be able to give this to my kids. And my kids don't want it. It's a sellable business. To build the model right, it's a sellable business. So I'm talking to my daughter about it, which my daughter has now moved here to Texas, and she's actually running the sales department. All right. And if you email sales@simpleeasywebsites.com, you get Jess. See? Simple. I get it right. Sales manager, Jess. All right. Simple, Easy Websites. Jess is the sales manager. And she says, Dad, well, maybe we should make it so they have personal contact. So imagine this. You need a change on your website. Imagine picking up, which Nadia did from Culture to Color today, and text me, hey, Tim, I want that blog post to go live today. No problem. Texted her and messaged her back. Nadia, it's up and going. Go for it. Went in and did the tweaks I had to do to it this morning and put it up. Yesterday, we were texting back and forth because we were trying to tweak some changes to it. She'd send me a text, tweak this, and this. I go in and tweak it, send it back, said I checked it out, go check it out. And she's able to go in and look at it real quick. In a matter of a day, and the person who did it, her company owner, BB, who got the website with us, isn't even involved in the conversation. I'm texting back and forth with the person making the changes. We want to build our entire team that way. So it's going to be American-based. Going to be personal connection. No dial this, no check into this chat bot. Yes, we have a help desk for putting things in, but yes, we have those things up there. But we want people who want to know that they can contact a personal person. My credit card company, and I think Paul Fink uses it. I know John Limbacher uses it. Is a wonderful lady. Her name's Barb, and yeah. So anyway, anytime I have a problem with my credit card processing, I call Barb. I text Barb. I don't go to some portal to figure this out. I text her. That's just one of the things I like. I have it so my mastermind can text me. That's the purpose behind everything I do, is so that they can reach out to me. They have a quick connection to me, right? And they're able to get through fast, right? So we went off and created this. We have clients. It wasn't until July that we finally got, it was the beginning of July, we finally got clients in Dallas, Texas area. Our first client that signed up was in Long Island, New York. Then we got one from Orange County, California. Then we got one from, like the Valley and Los Angeles. Then we got one from, Austin, Texas. Another New York, 2 Floridas. All right, and Australia, right? But we had no one here in Dallas. We finally got 2 people. Oh no, now we actually have 4 here in the Dallas area. 4 people in the Dallas area that we have, 4 clients we have in the Dallas area that we take care of. All right. And we just come up with a plan, right? And I literally put it down into systems so that the business will run and systems will help maintain it. And because we have people paying for their hosting on a monthly basis, granted, we broke it down for every hosting. This is how much it costs for the hosting server we pay for. This is how much it costs to pay someone to maintain it and look after it. This is how much it costs, all right, for expenses, general expenses for the company, and this is how much the profit is. We broke all of that down right away, so we knew what prices we can give. We knew that we could get into it in a way where it would be a long time before we had to raise prices based on, all right, as long as our costs don't go up, we're not going to have to raise prices to keep doing this. We'll be able to do it and maintain the same level we are maintaining for a while because we built things with a margins into it to be able to take care of expenses as they grow. And everybody who comes on, we also invest part of that money back into the company so that the company will continue to grow and have growth money to grow with. I did all this because I firmly believe in America. I firmly believe that you could go create a business in 90 days, 120 days. To me, 90 days has always been the transformational mark in any business or anything you do. 90 days. You can transform almost any business in 90 days and make a world of difference in that business. I did it for a reason. Number one, I've been in the coaching industry since 2009, and I have seen people go, yeah, I'm going to get around to it. Yeah, okay. I did it to stand up and show you, yes, you can do it. Because I've been teaching people business practices, business things online, and I said, it's about time I step out and I do it again myself to show you it can be done. I have a great mentor in my real estate group. His name is David Fisher. And David, I don't know if David ever sees these because he's a very good guy in what he does. And this is not his gig. David Fisher does the thing in training real estate with us that he will go because he believes he can find a property on any MLS that is a viable property to fit in the business model he teaches. And in his seminar, he says, I'm going to go online during the seminar and I'm going to find a property that we can buy that will fit the model. All right. And you can be profitable with it. And he does it every seminar. And he has this thing that he says to the people in the seminar. If someone in this room doesn't buy it, I will, to prove to you that it can be done. And David has bought property after property. And now his son, who's 16 years old, is doing the same thing. Property after property, because people go, well, I don't know if I can do it. So he buys it and he does it. How many times people come to me and say, well, Tim, I can't build a business. Well, Tim, I got to have. Well, Tim, I've got to have. I had a gentleman sit in my home just a couple months ago, sit here, and he said, well, he'd lost his job. He wanted to get into the speaking business. And he's looking for someone like Paul, like me, like my friend Craig, like John. Hey, teach me what to do to get started in this. And his opening statement to me was, I need to make between $70,000 and $100,000 a year right away. And it made me think how many people he's going to go to. And they're going to tell him, oh, yeah, I can help you. $20,000 to join my program. And the first thing that person's doing is helping themselves to $20,000. No one's hitting with the reality. Dude, there's a chance that within the first 2 years, you're going to be lucky to make 25 to 50. If you're lucky. And no one will give them those true numbers. I wanted to build my business out of true numbers. Another reason why. I've had a mastermind for years, as I've told you guys. I've changed the whole idea around my mastermind. And I've come up with 7 different ways to teach in that mastermind from now on. And that mastermind used to be $7,000, $5,000, $2,500 after the third year. When I first started, it's $3,500, $2,200, $1,200 a year. Well, half the people that come to my mastermind, they come to my mastermind because they've actually spent tons of time with the people Paul and I were talking about. They bought this man's deal. They bought that person's deal. They were in this woman's program, that guy's program, this group's program. Every one of these programs who did nothing but suck money out of them because they didn't have the tools and the resources to build the business they wanted. And this person, this coach, they say, well, yeah, you're doing good. You're doing good. Cha-ching, take the money from you. You're doing good. You're good. Give me more money. You're doing good. You're doing money. And their business ain't growing. Finally, they ran out of money. They ran out of money and their business grew that much, but they spent that much money. And I said, no more. I'm not going to be part of that industry anymore. I'm not going to be part of the problem in our industry. That's why I have Paul on today, because Paul's not the problem in that industry. Paul is the solution to that problem. I want to be the solution to the problem, not another person in the business causing the problem. Many people have come to me over the years who are on their last leg. And I just took on another one just this week. Very, very inexpensive. So we offer it for $9.97 from now on. It's $9.97 a year or $97 a month. Stay in as long as you want, by the month or by the year. It doesn't matter to me. Now, if you've got a website from us, we have a discount for that, and it's offered to the people who are our website clients, or offered a discount rate because they're already website clients. Now, if they get a website from us, they do get some of my advice in the creation of their website, but they're not getting the full coaching package. I offer the coaching package for them if they want to come in the mastermind. I know I said that, hey, this is going to be my last one. Why? Because my business model with the website company has taken over a large portion of my time right now. I can't take time every month to seek out 5 speakers, to get a marketing email up every month, to get a marketing meeting out to the crew, to get the videos broken back apart and put up. It was just too much work that I had to do, that I had to cut it all back. And I have to go, okay, what and where do I cut from to make this other business that is growing grow? Where do I cut from? And that's where I had to come up with the virtual event has to go. The virtual event had to go. So what we're going to do in the future, so you guys know, is we are probably going to still do a virtual event in May and November of every year. A one-day event like this, like these were. We'll bring in 5 speakers. We'll give you the opportunity, if you want to speak, that you can apply and speak and be part of the event, right? We're not sure what we're going to call it, but they're going to be a virtual event. We're going to do a live events here in Dallas, probably once or twice a year, that are 12 to 20 people. Decline that call. 12 to 20 people max. All right. You have to pay ahead of time. My mastermind gets first dibs at coming. All right. If whatever they don't get is open to the public, we open to the next layer. All right. To the events people. And then we open to the general public. But it is no longer going to be, our events are no longer going to be just me up here teaching. Our live events in person will be an experience type workshop. In other words, you're going to come there that day with the idea in mind that you're creating a sales funnel, you're creating a website, you're creating, you're creating a speech, you're creating a video, all right, to put on your sales or to put on your speaking reel. You're creating something. It's part of the event. It's the only way we're going to do it. There'll only be 15 to 20 people in the room max, because we wanted to make the experience about someone coming away and walking away with something. Because I'm not going to be doing the events where it's just me, all right, and having to search to find 7 to 10 great speakers to come in, all right, and fill the day. No, I want to come in and make an experience. One of the greatest things that I ever did, and I loved, was in 2014, almost 2015 timeframe. I did this one-day workshop on blogging where people came and they created a blog. And one day they created the blog, and one day they had a blog up, and they can go home and maintain it after that. And that's the type of stuff we want to get back to. We're not going to do a lot of them. Only going to do 1 or 2 here and there a year. And that's it. Going to do a virtual, all right, in May and November. Probably on a Tuesday, right? We'll take on speakers. All right. We'll put it into a fashion where people can come in and share. All right. We'll give away 10-minute slots here and there for you to come in and speak for 10 minutes and share your message real quick and then go out. All right. As a sponsor type deal, we'll do that. But in the meantime, we're not going to be putting together a monthly event anymore, because I'm taking away all the things that took all the time to put it up here. And especially after it's been a year since someone signed up for the membership. That being said, it has been an honor to serve you guys this way. Been great. For those people who came, found something here and went on, and I haven't seen you since, God bless you. I thank God for that you actually found something and picked up the pieces and grew from it. That was what our whole event was about. I pray for every one of you that every one of you are successful. For you who are in this group and want to continue a relationship with me, I'm still online. TimGillette.com is still up and going, but Simple Easy Websites is our focus right now. The events, if I'm going to do one in November, will be announced here. We'll pick the date and announce it here in the next week. The webpage, simplyeasyevents.com, will show it. All right. And you can come to that event. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, all right, if you have not gone to our website SimplyEasyWebsites.com and get our new free download. It's a website planner to help guide you on getting your website up, because that is our now focus, is getting your website up, getting you online, getting content on that website, and getting you making money. Our tagline is, if your website's not making you money, we can fix it. Because your website's got to be making you money. It's either leading people to get on the phone with you or leading people to buy a ticket or something. But they have to be getting it somewhere, some way, or it's not going to work. I thank you guys for the 3 years of making this work. It was fun. It had its ups, it had its downs. I know a ton of people because I did this virtual event and won't go back on any of it ever again. I appreciate you all for being part of this. All right. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here and taking heed to some of the wisdom I shared and making it a better world for yourself. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to sign off and wish you the best that life can ever give you. Take care, ladies and gentlemen.